Hey everyone, I'm just gonna quickly check that this is working. But welcome back to the rOilers. This is podcast number 8. Everybody panic. And this is the time to be panicking. And from the looks of it, unfortunately, the stream isn't completely online yet, so I gotta wait.
It's probably online. It's probably just delayed.
And there it is.
Yeah.
We're live.
I cannot go full screen right now.
All right, that's fantastic. Okay, let's get started with the podcast then. So today we have joining the original crew, Nine Baines, otherwise known in real life as Sean. You want to say something for us, Sean? Yep.
Did we drop him?
We've lost Sean. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go on to Adam. Adam, what's up? How you doing?
I
Or
got a
Adam
I got a
Sweet.
haircut. I got a haircut.
Hey, how you guys
The
doing?
numbers.
Oh, there we go. We got Sean back.
I'm still here. My picture just dropped out.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have James Thistle, otherwise known as.
Hello.
I
Paul
always
McCartney.
forget the username. Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney,
Yeah, of
one and
course.
only.
And I'm Marunatic5, otherwise known as Arun. Sean is having a little bit of video issues, so just bear with us, but we'll get going. So the first topic today is league-wide roundup. So basically, who's hot and who's not, and what the heck kind of hybrid cocaine is Arizona taking?
What the fuck, dude? I don't understand what happened in Arizona, but Jesus Christ. Like, what the hell do they put in their water?
I don't know. Apparently, apparently, I'm guessing that Domi met up with McDavid partway through the off season and went he did the handshake steal powers thing
You
and
put all
stole
Space
his
Jam on
Jesus
him.
powers.
I don't like. We need to figure out what the hell Ty Domi's doing in his off season and bottle that up because apparently he can raise a kid better than he can play hockey.
Yeah. And there's that Duclair guy
Oh,
who got a
he's not
Declare.
bad. Yeah,
hat trick last game.
He scored 2 last game, didn't he?
He scored
Yeah.
2 last
He had a
game.
hat trick.
Fuck.
Hat trick in the
seriously?
last one. And the
6 points in
won
4
right?
games.
Yeah, and to top it off, he wasn't
Absurd.
bad to begin with. With New York Rangers, he was one of their best young players, and they
Yeah.
traded him for Yandel. I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the foot when
Oh god.
New York still has trouble
Oh, yeah.
scoring.
All right, so now that we
Yeah.
actually have you back here, Sean, you want to tell us a
yeah.
little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. I've been an Oilers fan since the '06 run. I really didn't watch much hockey before that. And I kind of picked the Oilers because they were doing so well. After that. Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Hall, definitely Hall on the Oilers. In the league, probably Ovechkin.
Yep.
Uh,
And then you just decided
Yeah.
to stick with the Oilers over all these years because
I'm a masochist, apparently.
yeah. I think I was-
We've concluded that we all
no,
are. So don't
just-
Yeah. Join the club.
worry.
It's
can rename
really,
this to
it's really
masochist.
blind faith, though, right?
yeah, I think that's definitely
Yeah,
one
no
way to
kidding.
put
So
it.
where you're oh no, I'm not gonna go with that joke. Never mind. Let's continue on.
That's concerning.
All right,
You
fantastic
skipped
to
the
hear
joke?
from you,
That's
Sean.
concerning.
Do you want to chime in on who you think is hot, who you think it's not, and what's going on with
I know
Arizona?
Lundqvist is so hot. No, or James. Yeah.
Hanzo, so hot right now.
Do you want me to just start
Yeah,
off here?
yeah,
or-
go ahead.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean. You start.
Yeah.
Well, who's not is the entire Anaheim roster.
yeah.
They've got 3 points on their entire team. What is it? Vatanen's got a goal. Cogliano's got a goal. Yay, former Oiler. And who's the other one? Santorelli.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
really.
Something
Those are
like
the only 3 with a point on Anaheim, and they're supposed to win the cup this year, right?
Yeah,
That's
they're
what
one
I've
of the
been.
favorites,
That's
yeah.
what I've
That's what
heard.
people are saying.
It's the weird thing where everything's reversed. I mean, Buffalo's playing fairly well, Toronto's playing fairly well, Anaheim's playing like crap, LA's in the gutter. Just
Toronto is not playing fairly
Well,
well.
I
Let's
mean-
be honest here. Toronto ran into a very
Toronto-
fortunate situation with Sergei
for
Bobrovsky, where
Toronto.
we got Cop out of the force Bobrovsky instead of currently working Bobrovsky.
the homeless Bobrovsky. But they're not like the Leafs aren't bad for what they expected of the Leafs.
Oh, they're playing harder.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the roster is shit.
Well, yeah.
So,
kind of expected.
James, you want to cue in?
On who I think is bad or who I think is really good.
Your call.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've just spent the last week or so in Montreal, so I've been surrounded by Montreal Canadiens everything for the last little while. So Max Pack, he's got off to a stellar start as Canadiens captain. I mean, 5 games, he's got 4 goals, 6 points. He's making it happen. Him and Price. I mean, I went to the Habs home opener against the Rangers where they won 3-0, and I never even thought that the Rangers were going to win. Like, the score was 1-0 for a good part of the game, and I was like, yeah, this is already over. We can probably just go home now because they're not going to score. Price is like, if it's even possible, he looks better than he did last year.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So
You know what
Price,
could
Max
have
Pack,
helped him
yeah.
score though? Duclair.
I guess, yeah. Or Max Domi. Max, was it against Dubnyk that he scored that really sick goal the other day?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was nice. Okay, against Dubnyk, that makes
Everyone's
me feel
getting
good.
sick goals. Apparently, like all of our highlights is just like,
Yeah,
dump it in, and then we're like, oh, they have the puck. Better give up on this.
Actually, going
That-
off that, I want to start with you, Sean, because we'll put you under the spotlight. So we're obviously 0-4, and I think the biggest part is we've only scored 3 goals, 4 games, because one of the goals was not really, or 4 goals in 4 games, I guess, because one of the goals.
4 goals.
Yeah.
4 goals in 5 games.
Yeah. So do you think there's an issue with the offense? Is it the type of offense we're playing? What do you think is the problem that we're such shit on offense right now?
It's mostly, I think it's just a lack of chemistry. I think everyone was going in with real high hopes, but when Everly got injured, suddenly everyone was like, "Oh shit, it's real life," and everything fell apart. The game before, I mean, we did okay in the second game against Vancouver without Everly during the preseason, but that was still preseason, so it's everyone still had 0 points after that,
And we got
but we
burned
still
in
lost that
LT.
game anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was just one turnaround. It was over.
Mhm.
So is it?
But again, we played better. So I mean,
Would you say it's Eberle, or is it the system we're playing?
it's mostly chemistry because Everly, I think without Everly there, we lose
Nuge.
2 lines because we have to shift people up and down, right, to fill in his spot, and we don't have, even with Everly, I don't think we have 6 top 6 forwards. As scary or as sad as that is to say.
Even with McDavid, Hall, Nuge, Eberle, and then Pouliot, no?
I think we do.
I don't.
But
He's not really playing that great, is he?
Who,
who,
Pouliot?
Pouliot?
Yeah.
He's not.
No, he's
He had
playing
a-
pretty well.
He had a
I mean,
couple.
he's-
He had a couple 4 games.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
awful.
but
I don't know. I've seen worse, that's for sure. As long as you weren't going to put Yak in the top 6
It's
there.
only not
'cause-
Purcell.
No.
My God.
Purcell, buddy, come on.
Purcell.
yeah, Jack
very
played a
easy.
pretty good game when he was in that line with McDavid and Pouliot.
Yeah.
That was his best game.
Yes, that.
He got yanked off the last line. The last game in the second period, got yanked off that line.
Yeah, he did.
I threw him back on the third. But so then, James, what do you think? Do you think it's chemistry? Is it Eberle missing? That's the key to all this, or is it?
Well, I mean, Eberle is probably the best pure goal scorer on the team right now. Eberle or Hall, but I would give the edge to
I would
Eberle.
go
I
with
think.
I would go with Hall, the 80 points a year guy. Better
No, it's not scoring though.
well, he scored a goal last game, but yeah, it's true.
Mhm.
Sorry, James.
I
go ahead.
agree. I agree with what Sean said, though. I mean, just a lack of chemistry. The preseason versus the regular season, it's always so different every single time. I mean, you look at preseason scoring leaders, and it's like players that you know, but they're like AHL All Stars, and these guys are suddenly like leading the league in preseason scoring. And then once the season gets going, veterans get their legs. It's completely different seasons. So I think that they just need to be given some time to gel. McDavid has looked great every single game. Just because he doesn't have 10 points already doesn't mean that he's not playing well. So, it's that old adage that as Oilers fans we're so sick of hearing, just have some patience. But I think in this case, we do just chill out for a couple of weeks, I think everything should turn around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, who needs to chill more than Oilers fans is our hockey fans,
Oh
apparently.
God.
Oh my god, yeah.
We're not. I don't. That sub is just whatever. Anyway,
It's something else. Anyway, my opinion is that I'm seeing, like, I see the chemistry problems, but more than that, my big problem is that we have some big, not like coaching problems in terms of how the coaching has decided to generate offense. And if you notice what's going on in terms of coaching, it's like dump and chase, retrieve the puck, get it back to the blue line, and score. And the other one is get the blue line to move the puck forward and then enter the zone with the blue line. The big problem is there's two components that our offense is really missing in order to make this effective. One is we don't really have big wingers that can go in and retrieve the puck. And on top of that, our players, all of our players, are really bad with their sticks. I don't know how to say this purely. Like, even this is a problem on our defense, where our sticks are never in the right position. They're never there to clear the puck after a shot. They're never there to block a pass. They're never there to get a good forecheck going, that kind of thing. And then the second component that we're missing is that our blue line is really weak. One of the key things that makes a playoffs team very good, or absolutely necessary for them to be a playoff team, is that you get offense from your blue line, either from assists or from goals or from, especially important in your power play. And right now with our blue line, it's either a slap shot that doesn't make it to the net or a slap shot that is like was never going to make it to the net to begin with. And that's where the issue of chemistry comes. But the key thing about our blue line that I'm not liking is the fact that it's a very weak blue line. I mean, Schultz is playing very good right now. I appreciate his play. Clefbaum hasn't. I would argue is a little bit better from last season already. The problem is that Sekera is slowly getting into the rude change of things. Fane has not looked as great as I wanted him to. And those were supposed to be our two big guys that were supposed to step up and help us through the beginning part of the season. And my main issue is that because our defense is not clicking well with them, as defense as well as in contributing to offense, that's what's leading to all of our scoring woes and our power play scoring woes.
We'll talk about the power play in a minute. That's a whole other issue. But going off that.
Yeah.
We've obviously been hearing this, I think, every year for the last 8 years. Do we need to trade Hall or Eberle or Yakupov or Schultz or somebody for a certified number 1D and not a number 2D that we're forcing to play number 1?
All right, I really want to call out someone, but I won't because there's some really dumb people on our hockey right now. But the key thing about trading, the way I see it, is that you always need a certain context when you're making a trade. If you make a trade with Hall or Eberle or Nuge right now, what does that leave you with when you get that really good defenseman that you're so-called gonna get? What else do you have to add to the trade? What are you without now? When you lose Hall, you're losing effectively our best offensive player on our team for a team that's having difficulty producing offense.
Do you not sacrifice offense now for defense in the future?
We do have some defense in the future.
Because we do, but you still need another 1D. Nurse can't do it on his own, and if you have McDavid.
Well, that's why we also traded for Reinhardt too.
Reinhardt's not going to be a number 1D.
And we got rid of Nick Heaton.
I'm going to say that
was a liability.
So
sorry, Sean. I'm going to talk a little less. Or James, do you want to contribute on that?
Oh, Sean, you jump in there. I want to hear what you have to say.
As far as the defense goes, I tend to agree with you in there. Our defense is crap. It's poor. Our best players are right now Schultz. Even though I've been a supporter of him, I'm still surprised how good he is defensively. I was not expecting that good in the back. I know he can do it offense.
Sean, you're a little laggy for us.
I think we lost him there.
Just like was mentioned. Sekera, I'm a bit... Ooh.
You're back.
Yeah, it's okay now. You can keep going.
I'm still here.
Yep.
All right. As I was saying, Clefbaum is doing fantastic as well, and now I'm gone.
Don't worry about it.
Keep
Your
talking.
audio's great.
Yeah, just keep going. Keep
Keep
going.
going.
Sakara is driving me a little nuts, to be honest, with these dumb little moves here and there. That's not going very well for me. Getting me little heart attacks every now and again. But
He had that one goal against I forgot what team it was
he,
that like
he had,
he made like a really dumb move at the blue line
I think
against two forwards.
Nashville.
Nashville.
it was near Nashville, yeah.
So I took
That
Colin
was
Wilson goal.
that just threw my hands up in the air. It was absurd.
No.
Hated that. And Fane isn't doing as well as I was expecting either. As far as the future goes, yes, you're right. Reinhardt's not going to be number one. Nurse might be, but we need one number one. We don't need two. Two would be better, but we only need one. And if Nurse becomes that, that's fantastic. But that's a big if.
That's you.
Yeah.
Even still.
That's down the
Huge
road.
if.
So do you go for the assured number one, trading for someone like Seth Jones or even I don't know like Roman Yossi, someone like that, like big ticket item, and give up a lot for it for the guaranteed one, or do you wait for Nurse hopefully to come out, and which could be 3 or 4 years?
Well, I don't think it's going to take 3 or 4 years. I think he's only one year, half a year away from being in the NHL, and maybe two from being a top pairing guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
Because I don't see him taking that long.
Yeah. So
but even so, Seth Jones right now is on the third pairing. Sure, they have a hell of a lot of depth, but even still, he's on the third pairing in Nashville.
I see he's on the third pairing more because Nashville is ridiculous. Like, they have the best defense score in the league.
Ridiculous.
So I think on any other team, I think he's number one or number two right now. But that's also me.
Nashville's the kind
The
of
thing
team
about-
where you can have a player like Shea Weber and another defender will slowly emerge as the better defender.
Which Roman Yossi is doing right now.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were Nashville, would you give up Seth Jones for anyone?
Well,
Aside
for
from-
their
Going to.
offense, yes, I would actually, because their offense was good last year, but right now it's struggling a bit.
Okay, then flip side. If we get Seth Jones for say Eberle, we're offense right now, like we mentioned before, that our offense key part of it doing poorly is because we are not having Eberle in our lineup. And do we give that up
I
for
don't
better
think
defense?
I'd trade Eberle. I think I'd go with the I'd probably trade picks, like high picks, and go with maybe Yak. Like, I don't think
James,
they'll
That's
take
that's
James, I think
just
you wanna
it,
say something.
because these trades they don't happen. You don't get Jones for Eberle straight up. Like, they don't happen.
No.
Period. I mean, it's kind of all a moot point to be having this discussion to begin with.
Yeah.
But just for the sake of like tickling our own testicles here, we can talk about it and discuss whether or not it's even a possibility. Would I make that trade, Eberle for Seth Jones? No, I don't think I would. I'm willing to roll the dice on Nurse. Essentially, is what it boils down to.
Okay, G Sards on YouTube has asked via chat, what do you guys think about trading for Chara? Even if it means he's a defensive calamity, but he brings leadership to the defense. Your thoughts?
That's that whole intangibles bullshit, and we tried that with Ferens and didn't end well. I love Chara's on a massive 7-year contract or 7.
Yeah, there's still another 2 years left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes down by quite a bit after a couple of years. I think he has 3 years left, and you know what? Like, he's probably still a good defenseman, and he'd definitely be the best defenseman on our team. But he has had a lot of health issues. He's missed a lot of time in the last 2 years, and I honestly don't think he's a defenseman we need right now. And he's too old for our liking. So
Sean,
I
your
avoid him.
thoughts?
Sean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't like the idea of getting Chara, though he is the big defenseman we need. We shouldn't be going for someone that's aging and all that other stuff.
Actually,
With all the other baggage that he comes with.
yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I have a complaint of our defense is like one thing that like we saw increasingly more common with the teams that we were up against is that they started doing stretch passes. Who do you do stretch passes against? Teams that don't block up the neutral zone well, A. And secondly, teams that are slow. And the problem with our team right now is that either the game we're playing is slow or our defense is just that slow.
I think
And we're getting beat.
Well, our defense is pretty slow. The two most mobile players we have on our defense right now are Schultz and
Klefbom.
Sekera. And
Sakura?
Sakura isn't all that. Like, he's quick, but he's not that fast. Reinhardt's not mobile. Greiba's not mobile. Like, there's a lot of up and down, but Schultz is by far the fastest player on defense.
Reinhardt is really he's slow as molasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is slow.
Thistle?
Yeah.
Or-
What about like if we got Chara? What if we used him for like bodyguard purposes? Because we've always complained about how the Oilers get pushed around with nothing coming back, no pushback. What if we got him?
Way too much goddamn money for a player like that.
I mean, already like Chara's no longer like he was used to always getting the most minutes in a season, and now he's already third on the team. He's just
on the Boston
so
defense.
old. He's literally too old in order for him to play a full 82 game season.
You know
How old is he? Like 37 or something?
38, I'm thinking.
No,
37.
he's not
I'll
that
check.
old. Is he?
Yeah.
I think he's like 35. There's no.
He's old.
He's
No,
old.
He's above 35 for sure.
He should be above 35.
Yeah.
He's
38.
he's on the way.
He's older than.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
he's older than parents.
Yes. He's 38 years old.
No, don't. Nope. Drop. Nope. Don't touch it. 38.
No.
Oh,
He's 38 and being paid $7 million. So the thing
Fuck
is,
that.
if we trade for him, we have to give them a high
Hold on.
contract as well as some kind of value because they're trading away their formerly franchise defenseman for this, and that doesn't ever go
Look,
in a
Sweeney-
low-paying trade.
The other thing is Sweeney
And
Does
and
not
captain.
and captain, but again,
Yeah.
intangibles like
Yeah.
No.
Sweeney turned down a better offer from Edmonton
for Hamilton.
for in the Hamilton trade.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to like make a trade and help out his former GM.
Sweeney won't accept a reasonable offer from Shirelli. Like we'll have to overpay. They won't retain salary. Like it'll be ridiculous. So to be honest, like
Unless he gets fired, replaced with someone else that also doesn't listen to the owner.
yeah, I don't.
But that's the reason why Sweeney left. So
aside-
I can't help you
aside
much.
from the actual
I mean,
concept of bringing Char on,
Shira-
I think it's impossible. Like it just won't happen.
You think it's impossible?
Well, because just the former relationship that Shirelli and Sweeney had, I honestly don't think Sweeney would give up Chara to Chia unless he overpays. And I don't
Yeah.
think Shirelli's dumb enough to overpay on an aging 38-year-old defenseman who's had health issues.
No, I mean I think everyone can see that the writing is on the wall with
Yeah.
Char. He's headed downhill pretty quick, but I mean it
Very
is
quick.
it is worth thinking about in my mind because the Oilers have got pushed around for so many years, and Chara is still scary.
Okay, can I offer, because like Mark Pavelchuk on YouTube has commented saying, let's not forget the McDavid effect. There's lots of UFAs next year that won't cost us anything. And actually, I want to comment on that really quickly before we go on to the next point. And my idea of that is that if we don't do well this season with McDavid, we're not going to see the McDavid effect as strongly in the offseason.
I think that's a fair
Totally.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, going on to the next point, so we don't stay tied up. We can talk about our top three and bottom three players, or as Adam wanted to call it. Originally, it was the crude oil for bottom three players, and African American oil
Black
from the
gold.
top three
Say
players.
it right, black gold.
Hey, that's racist. Come on,
Not
African
ra-
American.
You people don't know oil if you say you don't know black gold.
Hey, man, I'm
Bullshit. Off.
No. For real though, refined oil.
Yeah, well, I was actually Sean's idea. Came up with the.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean.
Yeah, Sean, do you want to start on that one
Thank you.
with the top three? Bottom?
Okay. My very weakest player, right? My bottom player is Purcell. By far and away, he is the worst player on the team right now. He was given the line with McDavid and floundered it on the first game, and he couldn't get any action. He couldn't get anything anywhere with it, and nothing was happening, and he was tossed off that line immediately.
Mhm.
He was given another try with New as well, I believe, and he was tossed off that line real quick too.
Oh yeah.
So,
What was
as far
frustrating
as
for me
the
was
top
that,
player right now goes, it's
Sorry, no. I
going.
interrupted. So
Go
what's
ahead.
frustrating for
Go
me is
ahead.
in that first game, Purcell was our extra forward that was put in before. Who were you playing again? Freaking Blues? Yeah, the Blues came back and scored. No, the Nashville game. Yeah.
Was it Nashville? Oh.
First
I don't
game.
remember.
First game was against St. Louis.
The first game was St. Louis, second was Nashville.
Yeah.
Second was Nashville.
It was
third
one of those
Dallas.
games. He was the extra forward.
Anyway, yep.
Anyway, Sean, back to you. I'm sorry.
No worries. Top player right now is probably the Nuge for me. He's driving offense as he can. I mean, he got that no goal, or didn't touch the puck, whatever you want to call it, in that first game. But he was driving the play there that entire game. Him and McDavid are right up there as 1 and 2, identical as far as I'm concerned. To be honest with you, both of them are doing spectacularly.
Yeah, James, what do you think?
And third would be
no,
right
he's
now.
not done. He has one more.
Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry.
And there's 3. And my third best is probably I have to give credit to Justin Schultz. Just how good he's doing right now. It's just incredible. I have to give him credit.
He is. I don't think like I'm gonna kind of like downplay it a little. He's not exactly first line defenseman best, but much better than last season.
Well, if you checked his Corsi too, I think he was top in like 3 of the 4 games.
He's going above
and legged out.
Where I'm putting him so high is because he's going so far above and beyond expectations.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected what he's doing right now to be done by him.
Schultz for Norris. Anyway, James.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Purcell has got to be my dud there. I mean, the first game even it took me about 20 minutes, like one period, and I was like,
yeah,
just completely sewered the line with McDavid and Hall. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. Like they need Eberle back so that he's just not even an option. So Purcell, he's been pretty awful. Letestu, I don't want to say he's been bad, but he's just been nothing. Like I haven't noticed him at all. Like he hasn't done anything that I've noticed. In the goalies have been okay. Sekera, I expected maybe a little bit more of, but I think you guys know that I wasn't super hyped on the Sekera signing to begin with.
No.
So my point stands on that. And then people who have played well, Nuge has played well, like Sean said. McDavid has looked phenomenal every game, and Schultz. Yeah, Schultz has been much better than he was last year. So I'm happy with where he is. He's not ever going to be a true number one, but I'm no longer wincing whenever he touches the puck. So if that can keep up and he puts,
he definitely had a few mistakes.
40 points. Yeah, I know, but if he plays the way he is, solid positional, 35, 40 points, I can actually be happy with that. So,
by the way, Sean, feel free to talk over us too, if you need to be heard.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
No worries.
So before I keep going, G Sards has again commented, what do you guys think about Yak? In my opinion, he's been our most threatening forward in attack, and he's showing signs that he cares about the back end too. Pouliot doesn't look like the same player he was last year, a lot softer this year.
I'm inclined to agree. I think Yakupov, I don't think he's been our best offensive player. I think that's McDavid and Nugent Hopkins, but I think he's been very good. He has had a couple good looks. He unfortunately messed up on the goal that led to us losing against Dallas, where he missed the breakaway, but he was also still the first player back despite having a breakaway at the other end. So
but he played that one really poorly.
He did overstep the puck quite a bit.
Here's the thing. If he had scored on that breakaway, we wouldn't be talking about the breakaway.
No, not at all. And that's the thing.
No.
It was a great save by Lettinen. And it was a game-saving stop, and it was just unfortunate that he skated back too hard. And missed his mark. He got overexcited by a player and missed his mark. But I think he's definitely been very, very good. Pouliot was very much helped by Hall and Eberle last year, Eberle and Nuge last year. And I don't think we're going to see the same Pouliot. Like he's been worse than he should be, but I don't think we're going to see the same Pouliot we saw last year. That's just a fact of the matter.
He's missing Nugent Hopkins having an option of a skilled player to pass to.
Yeah.
That's what he's missing.
Sean, what do you think?
And that's why, before going to Sean, that's why the moment, it was McDavid, Yakupov and Pouliot, that line looked good because McDavid had a skilled player as an option. Sean?
Went back to Yak and came back and checked hard. I was really happy that he did that. I was pretty impressed that he did, actually. But the thing is, when he got there, he didn't know what to do. And that's not good.
It's worrying.
He stood there for, I think it took him like a second or so before Spezza got the puck before he realized Spezza had the puck by then.
It's in the net.
So, I mean, that is worrying. Yeah, Pouliot is, I was hoping he would do as well as he did last year. He had almost 20 goals. I was hoping he'd be able to pull that off again. It's not looking like he will, at least not early. Maybe he'll find a stride in the next few games, but it's not looking that good. Yeah.
Just got up and walked away.
Okay, bye, Rude.
Fuck you guys, I'm done.
He just didn't like.
Okay,
Didn't
so I
like
guess
my
I'll...
opinion. Apparently, that's cool.
We already got a brown guy replacement. We're good.
Yeah. All right, so I guess I'll jump in. I think Yakupov is going to be traded. I don't think he's going to be with the team long term.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Pouliot, maybe it could be him as well, but I don't think Yak is going to stick with the team. He's extremely popular, obviously. The effort is there, but I don't think that the hockey IQ is there. And if he doesn't have the hockey IQ, he'd better be putting pucks in the net, and he's not even doing that. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I can see Yakupov getting traded pretty quick.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as an option, mostly because I'm not seeing a level of trust coming for Yakupov from what's his name again? T-Mac. And that's the ultimate determiner for how things will work out on that end.
Yeah.
Regardless, let's keep going with that bottom three. Okay.
Do you want to go first or should I go?
You can go first, Adam.
All right. So, I've been thinking about this for the last little bit. So, for me, the top three has been at number one. I have McDavid, because he's been solid in every game. He only has the one goal, but you know what? He's been solid every game. Our best offensive weapon, I think, so far. Definitely looking really good. Second, I definitely have to go with, I think, Talbot and Nielsen. They've been extraordinarily good. They've been way, way better than I even expected, and there's no way we should have been in that Dallas game without Nielsen stopping 47 shots. Like, the goals that went in were
he was burned pretty badly on one of those shots.
The two goals that went in were pretty weak, and they weren't great. And those are the ones that should have stopped. But there were probably at least 15 shots that he really shouldn't have stopped, and he did anyway. Like,
exactly.
You can't win if you give up 50 shots. It's not how the NHL works. It doesn't work like that. So they've been really good. And Talbot actually looks like a number one goalie. So I'm liking that. Third, I'd have to say Schultz. I really, honestly am impressed at how he's played. His course has been very good. He's gotten, his ice time's back up again to 20 minutes, and he's actually playing well with it. Like, he's playing very well with it.
Hopefully he keeps it up.
Hopefully, yes, he keeps.
Because he did start last season fairly strong too.
Yeah, but the difference is between this season and last season is he's actually throwing hits. He's playing physical. He's using his body. He's using his stick. You know what? It's a completely different Schultz, and I like it. So hopefully he can stay that. Bottom three.
He's also shooting the puck more this year too.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Yeah.
He had 5 shots in that last game.
He has 10 shots total, leading second on the team with 10 shots. So
or 4 shots last game, but anyway.
Yeah. So bottom three, Purcell has been pathetic. I'm sorry. You need to step your game up. You can't. You're 6'3". Like, you can't get pushed over in the corner like a little dog. Come on, stand up. Purcell, and then who else am I thinking of? I gotta go with Letestu. Has been a little bit not great. Hasn't been noticeable, and that's okay. But he was expected to bring more offense than Gordon. He hasn't really got a whole lot of chances on the fourth line. But I think for me it's Lander. He's been completely invisible, and we can't have our third line.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lander. Damn it, man.
I forgot about Lander.
Exactly.
Jeez. That's the problem. Like, if you forget about your third line center, man, it's an issue. It's an issue. I don't know. So for me, that's those three.
I would be replacing Letestu on there for Ferentz.
You know what? And that's probably right.
He's only had one game, but he didn't.
He was god awful.
He didn't even deserve that one game.
And that's
the way he played.
for me, I don't even like consider Ference as our starting six, so he doesn't even register for me in there. Are we just? What do you?
Just,
Ference is barely even on the team
Yeah,
now,
I-
in my mind.
I don't know. Anyway, Arun, you finished.
what I'm guessing right now is going on that Ferrets front before I go on to my points is basically they're rotating until T Max finds something that he likes. So like you're gonna see next few games maybe like a Reinhardt, Davidson, like that kind of thing, and keep going about it until he finds like, okay, this is my seventh, and I don't want this eighth anymore.
I think
Yeah.
Ference is gonna get out. He's gonna shot out of
Yeah.
Gannon. There's no way he plays.
Oh, probably.
He plays 20
yeah.
games max this season, I think. 20, 25
Anyway, my top three, my bottom three. Okay, I'm gonna switch it around. I'm gonna go bottom four and top two because you can. I don't think you can justifiably have a top three when you've lost 4 games to start the season.
Fair enough.
So my top two players are basically going to be our goaltenders. Actually, no, not the goaltenders. Nix that. I'm gonna say McDavid. Mostly because like every time he had the puck going into the offensive zone, something happened. Unfortunately, and the reason that he's not being talked about more is because sometimes it just wasn't a goal that was happening. So I'm concerned, not concerned really, but like I would really like it if Everly came back and we can fix things on that front. My other top two is going to be Schultz, and we've talked about it again. It more has to do with the fact with how our expectations were for Schultz to start the season based upon how he was last season and how he is right now. I am still a little concerned though because he did start the season previous fairly strong before going down the stinker in terms of quality. So hopefully T Mac manages his minutes well. My bottom four players. My worst player was Ference. He has not looked good. My second worst player, again another defenseman, is going to be Reinhardt. I. It's not that I had high expectations for Reinhardt, but he is looking slow as molasses out there. He is, like in the first game, he took two really bad penalties. That he had no business taking, being the rookie of the team that was trying to get into the main roster. Like that's not something that you do. And in general, he's not looked that good. He has like had 1 or 2 good plays, but unlike Schultz, where we're talking about, oh, he did really well, but he had 1 or 2 bad plays, it was Reinhardt played really bad and he had 1 or 2 good plays. That's the way I saw Reinhardt. My other one is going to be again, it's what's his name again? The stupid guy that takes up all the money and can't play offense worth shit. Purcell. Yes. Purcell. I would like him to be on the third line. I feel as though he'll do really well on a third line role, but he's a little far off. Like he looks lost when he's on the second and the first line. Where frequently, like he just, oh, I have the puck now. Oh, I don't have the puck now. Might as well skate back. And he's just drowning our like offensive cycle. The what made the Oilers offensively relatively successful last season was the fact that when they got a cycle going, it was a really good cycle. You rarely ever score on the cycle, but it's a really good cycle.
Well,
fun to watch.
That you're talking about under Nelson, right?
Yeah, both guys.
No, because we had no offensive pressure under Eakins.
With Eakins, like his last few games, he did put together Pouliot, Everley, and Nuge, and they did get a good few cycles going, and then it stopped there, and he didn't keep that line together for long. So like 1-2 games, and the season previous they did. It was that line except with Hall instead of Pouliot. Anyway, bringing it back to my last bottom player is Lander. Lander, like as soon as I see Lander's line out, I have the expectation that we're going to be hemmed into our own zone. He has not looked good in terms of carrying the puck out. He has not looked good in sustaining offensive pressure. He has not looked good with a shot. Has he taken 2-3 shots now?
I don't even know, not that many.
Yeah, he has not been hitting. He has not done any of that effectively. And he was supposed to be like our future third line center consistently. And on another team, he could possibly push forward a second line center role, and he's looked like a fifth line center, and I'm not impressed by that.
So do you potentially trade Yakimov and bring Draisaitl up? Or not trade Yakimov, sorry, trade Lander. Jesus,
Trade Lander? No. I would rather have the devil I know rather than the devil I don't. And right now, what we know we get from Lander is good like defensive pressures, in terms of killing penalties, as well as face off.
So,
And with Draisaitl, I'm thinking we lose both.
Sean, do you at this point do you give Slebyshev his 9 games, send him down, and bring Draisaitl up?
I don't think he's earned 9 games. I think you should send him down sooner than that. Give us more flexibility for the following season if you want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say you send him down maybe after this one or maybe the next. I don't know. But the flexibility is what we really need.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll need the extra 2 or 3 games next year to see how good he is. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Slepyshev. Who was it? I can't remember who said it, but maybe it was Spec on 6:30 the other day, who called Slepyshev a September sweetheart. Everyone loves him in September because he's doing spectacularly, and that's what he was doing. But come October, he's not doing great, and in November, he's nowhere to be found.
Hey, he's this year's
Yeah.
Laddie hockey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
James?
Nope. Anyway, let's just go on to the next point because we're running a little low on time.
Yeah.
So I guess we talked about the trading aspects. It's not good starting 4-0. Should we go about nuking the team? I think we're all in agreement. No.
No.
You're right.
No.
No.
Not
Okay,
yet.
Good. Not yet. Yeah. If we start 0-9, yeah, then shit, everyone's fired. Okay. Do you think fans are overreacting? Do they have a right to overreact? Is it justified? What are you guys' thoughts? I would like to hear that, actually.
James, you want to start this one?
Yeah.
Or James,
sure.
yeah.
I'll
Start James this time.
No, I don't think that the fans are overreacting. I don't think that the fans are actually reacting that negatively. I mean, you have to step outside of the echo chambers that is the internet, I think. The internet allows for anonymity, and it allows for loud, obnoxious opinions to be heard. So if you step off of the internet and talk to people face to face, I mean, people are saying, for the most part, pretty reasonably, that it's 0-4. It sucks, yes, but there's no one standing on the edge of the bridge that I can really see. Internet communities like r/hockey and HF boards are obviously already on the anti-Oilers bandwagon, but that's to be expected if we were 0-1. So
Yeah.
you tune that garbage out.
Sean?
Yeah. Sean?
And yeah, to overreact, you have to at least react. And was it Invisible Enemy on our subreddit said that the atmosphere was garbage in the stadium the other day, and I tend to agree with him. There was no one really there. It felt like a lot of the times it was quiet. Not until Hall scored second goal did anyone even light up, and then you got the "Let's go Oilers" chants after that. But before that, it was quiet the entire game right up till then.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Do you-
was quiet.
So
Do you think it's a case of underreacting?
we need There's no reaction at all, it seems.
All right.
So yes,
okay.
Underreacting, I guess, would be
I mean,
the right term for it.
In a sense,
If we can
Sean.
coin a phrase, right?
In a sense, because I want to make you draw out your point a little. Do you think silence is a form of reaction?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think a silence would indicate?
Oh yeah, definitely. Silence is a form of reaction, but like
Mhm.
players need to grow to what's sort of looking for here, like the environment around them to like vibe off of, right?
So
Yeah.
They need to grow off the environment,
Mhm.
and if you're not cheering and stuff like that, you can't build off of that.
No.
can we see
And
this
so
as
in silence, you're kind of lulled down, even as a player.
I'm just gonna talk.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna carry your point into what I wanted to talk about, and along with a comment that I saw from G-Sards, which G-Sard said that it was a case of nervousness from the crowd. So I just want to draw that out a little and suggest that perhaps what made the Oilers really fun to watch before the like with the whole even through the whole like oh they're not doing that well kind of thing was the fact that our offense always managed to look really exciting in some kind of way when they were in the offensive zone. Um, Even if we didn't score at the end of it, like we would look excited. This year, it hasn't looked that great, and like that hasn't been well. We haven't started off great, and people came in with huge expectations in terms of what oh McDavid's gonna come in. We have a new coach, we have a new GM, we have a new staff for everything. We have a new assistant coach. It's all gonna be different this year. Like even if we start off really poorly, like we can eventually win a game. We'll get better and whatnot. And now people don't even know, based upon the way that we're playing up to this point, will we be the last? There's a very strong possibility that we will be the last team to win a game, and that scares people. And basically, all those fears is what you saw in that crowd that night, where they didn't know straight up, like, is this going to be worse than it was before? I don't want it to be worse.
Yeah.
Adam?
I see that reaction as yeah, more tentativeness than anything else. It's more like, oh boy, here we go again. All this promise, all this hype, and then we're gonna suck. And I don't think a lot of people expected, despite what people think, not a lot of Oilers fans expected playoffs this year. Most people said no, maybe we'll do okay. Maybe there's an outside chance that we get a wild card, but never. I don't think a lot of us expected to start this poorly. Not even going 0-4, but just not.
We started 0-4 last season.
We did, but we also had Dallas Eakins last season. This year we have
And we didn't have that much hype going in.
Yeah, exactly. But I think for me the big issue right now is the media hyping and harping on McDavid.
Yeah.
And they just need to stop because it's getting to the point where I just want to stab every beat writer because it's like, oh my God, he hasn't scored 40
Hey,
goals
McDavid,
yet.
check this out.
He hasn't scored 40 goals. He's worse than Larkin. He's worse than Eichel. He's played well. He's our best player right now. It's a fucking joke. Like right about
Connor.
something else. Right about the fact
Connor,
that
are you there?
Yeah,
shit.
Connor, are you there?
Connor, we need you to interview Connor.
think about that.
Connor.
Oh,
Mark
God.
Messier
Connor,
and his
please.
Rogers commercials.
Well, even in
Go
Connor,
ahead.
please.
because of the lockout, Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby both had the same rookie year, and Sidney Crosby, best player in the league, in the world, coming in, didn't win the Calder that year. Ovechkin did. So I wouldn't be surprised if we again, as Oilers fans, don't have the Calder in Edmonton one more year.
Yeah, no, after
I wouldn't be surprised
called
if
the
that.
Edmonton
Nuge and
curse.
Yak and
It's a
Paul
strong
gets-
rookie class, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, that's the thing is that
It
this
is
it's a
rookie is really
strong
It really
rookie
is.
class.
Like
Can I-
even Panarin from Chicago
Chicago.
Blackhawks and Adam is a fool. Is looking strong this season.
Can I
He's
just
looked
comment on
great.
one thing that I found? The irony of the entire thing in the last game in Edmonton was
Yeah.
incredible. Where we were talking. The Sportsnet intermission crew was talking about how the McDavid talk is unreal and how it's how they protected Gretzky in the 80s and then blah blah, blah and they're like the Oilers need to do a good job protecting him and the media really needs to stop
They
focusing
can't catch
on
him.
And then he immediately cuts to an interview with McDavid 2 seconds later, and then immediately following that was the Messier McDavid commercial, and then they came back from commercial and started talking about him again. I just
Oh my
the
God.
irony of the entire thing was absolutely unreal.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
They need to step off the gas a little for sure.
That's one point I actually don't understand at all. I would like you need to protect McDavid. McDavid has thrown more like dangerous hits than he's taken him.
no.
Nice-
I'm
nice
protecting
segue.
from media, is
Excellent
what they're saying.
segue. I
And
like
on
that.
that point, what are your guys' reactions about McDavid's hit?
Good segue.
I am the master of segue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't.
Who was that he hit? Who was that he hit in the back in Dallas?
Oh, do ya?
ya?
Was it Dallas?
Oh, do you want to hit me?
Oh, do you? Yeah. Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry.
I was making that pun all day too. All day that day too. Yeah. That was a dirty hit. There's no way around that. It was right in the numbers. Should have got a penalty for it. Got away with it. Oh well. Yeah. He's been playing hard and rough and all that other good stuff, but he needs to follow the rules a little bit better, I think. Yeah, calm it
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Yep. I don't know. What do you guys think, James?
That was a dirty hit for sure. Honestly, if he got suspended, I would have been like, yeah,
That's
okay.
bullshit.
I would have
No,
been mad if he got suspended.
I, I don't know, man. Right in the numbers, right from behind. Like he wasn't even. He
High on
didn't
the
even.
numbers, Odia stood around for 2 seconds with the puck away from the boards.
But you
Continuing on.
still don't go after him,
No,
though,
it was
just
like
because
his
he's
decision
there.
making and mental process in that situation is lacking. Like you have no idea what he was thinking. But suspension for that is there was no injuries on the play, which YCP Berkey has said is he's part of the Department of Player Safety, has mentioned that is a factor that goes into suspensions or length of suspensions, and that wasn't an issue in this case. It was a terrible hit and he should have got a penalty, but he shouldn't have got a suspension. Maybe a fine,
You're
maybe, probably a warning, but suspension would have been too far.
Penalty would have been all you needed for that.
Yeah.
It's 2 minutes.
Okay,
Would've been
we,
enough.
we talked about this earlier in the podcast, but a commenter on YouTube has brought this up, and he's suggesting that we should go about trading Hall for a solid defenseman, whether we thought you would be a good or bad thing. Like he's saying, like a pronger quality defenseman. That's the kind of player that we're missing. A D-man who can shoot hard from the blue line and shake things up, quote unquote. He's also like saying that I'm not sure about you, but I'm tired of watching Hall head down, thinking he can make the play himself, and constantly turning the puck over. My 2 cents. Trade him while he has some leverage.
The big
Um,
issue for me is
You don't trade for those players.
who the
You don't
fuck are you
trade for
gonna
those kinds of
find
players.
that's gonna trade a defenseman like that? And for me, like that's strong language, but like, what team is gonna trade their star player for another star player?
Think about it this way: if you wanted to trade for Weber right now, Weber would go for at least Hall and
Draft
Eberle,
picks. I'd say Hall and draft picks at the very least.
and high draft picks
Yeah.
at least.
No, and that's the thing is that the issue is number one D are so rare in the NHL, and guys like Pronger are so rare in the NHL that nobody's going to trade for them, or trade them even with until the
Okay,
playoffs
so
done.
D White is clarifying that he meant that we need playmakers and D-men, not necessarily a star defenseman.
I still.
But
don't think-
I would counterpoint that D White in that we have lots of playmakers and lots of D-men, but we don't have necessarily a star demon and someone that can consistently score.
But okay,
That's
issue,
what we're actually
the
missing.
issue with Hall, Arun, then is that you're trading. Look, trading star players doesn't get you good return. If you want to, like Boston, Boston got fucked because they traded They traded Boychuk and Hamilton for next to
Toronto.
nothing. Kessel got traded.
Sagan, Hamilton,
Was
Kessel.
gone because of
Yeah.
issues and just no. Okay, the issue with trading star players is you don't get fair return. The only one that comes to mind is Lindros, and that's because he forced them to, and
hype was too
Abs
real.
ended up winning 2 cups. So no, it's just.
And
for
if
me,
you
See,
throw
the
out
thing about
hypothetical
Lindros
situations.
is
Go ahead, Sean. Go
the
ahead.
thing about Lindros is he hadn't played a game, so he was still a number 1 draft pick.
yeah,
No one
exactly.
knew what he was until he got to the league.
Exactly.
He was
So I
still
mean, if we had been,
sorry, continue.
he didn't play a game for he didn't play a game for Quebec. So he was still a number 1 overall pick. No one knew what he was. He hadn't played a game. You're still trading for hype. You're still trading for hope at that point.
Now,
Yeah. So D White, I'm gonna be honest with you, buddy. I feel
And-
as though you're not completely concrete in what exactly you're wanting, because like a solid defenseman that can lead the young guys,
First time
who's
I've
not
had
afraid
that
to shoot
before.
when the chance presents itself, and can play make, is something that you would call a first star defenseman.
I think to play devil's advocate here though,
Yeah.
Hall does turn the puck over a lot and does make a lot of stupid plays. He's done
Oh
that a
yeah,
lot
he
this year.
does. I would
And
totally
issue,
agree with
the
you.
issue right now is if Hall gets injured again, like seriously injured, we're not gonna be able to trade him because he's gonna have no value. He gets hurt every year, and so I think D White has a point in the fact that if we want to get a number 1 defenseman and there's a team willing to trade one somehow for Hall, which I honestly that's the big issue for me is not the concept but finding a trading partner. It's that Hall we have to trade Hall sooner rather than later because he is going to start losing value if he gets more injured. The other issue for me though is that he produces a shit ton of our offense. Like Eberle is out right now and he's not out very often, but when Hall is in, he produces pretty much all of our offense. And he's nearly a point of player game. He's one of the best left wings in the NHL, but to that extent, left wings are easier to get than defensemen. And we're gonna have to give up more value than we get back.
No, it's not. That's not true. Left
That's
wings are
not
not
true at
easier
all.
to get than defensemen. Right wings are easier to get than
That-
defensemen. You don't get good left wingers.
Okay. I'm gonna then a number one defenseman like Pronger. Because there are a hell of a lot more wings. There are a hell of a lot more players that play left wing that are good players than there are defensemen who are good
Yeah.
defensemen.
You can
Yeah,
put
I
centers
understand.
out on the wing too.
The thing about that is value. The thing about that is value. You're not going to get value back for Hall
Well, that's what I'm saying.
ever.
Right? But
Yeah, no, that's I think
You could have traded him. The only time you could have traded him for that was when he was the first overall pick before we picked him.
Or as G Sards is asking the question, like when remember Hall scored 70 plus points one season. If he scores a 70 plus points again this season, would you trade him on that high?
no, because it's
The fans would riot, honestly.
no, because we need,
He's a 70-point
the
player.
offense.
no, because you need 70 plus points.
Absolutely.
We have an anemic offense. We had we were 24th, 26th in the league last year in scoring. 26th.
Yeah.
Even with Hull and Eberle and Nuge and Yakubov and Schultz and everywhere, 26th in offense. Like we have this potent offense that never shows up, and even right now we have no offense. Our power play's over fucking 14. Well, 1 for
Gross.
14, but the one goal wasn't even ours. Like it's just, you don't. The way I see it, you don't trade what you don't have.
Yeah.
It's like when we traded Petrie, we don't have defensemen, so let's just trade this guy who ends up being a second pairing defenseman, one of the best team in the league. That's a good idea.
Okay. So that's a really good discussion. I'm gonna let James talk, and then we'll start wrapping up things. Sorry for you guys. I wanted to talk more about your questions and go on this discussion, but we're approaching an hour, and we should wrap things up. James.
What point are we on?
We're talking about whether or not we should trade Hall still, and what
No.
would be the player that we get in return, how things
No.
would work.
No, no trade Hall. He is the straw that stirs the Edmonton drink. I don't trade him. Period. End of discussion.
Is that ignoring your biases too?
Yeah.
Because Hall is your favorite
Is that what, sorry?
Is that ignoring your Hall is your favorite player bias?
I don't even
Pronger
know
won
if he
it-
is my
sorry.
favorite player. He's frustrating as fuck.
Yeah.
But
Pronger won a Norris before he was traded to Edmonton. Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, he's
won
won a
the-
Norris. Yeah.
he won the Hart in 2000.
He won the Norris and
I
Hart.
mean, you could just say it, but type that works too.
At that
See, I thought he.
Tippity type. Yeah. So
black.
no, don't
black
trade
man.
Hall ever. I don't know why we keep talking about these hypothetical situations where we get Roman Yossi for Hall. Like,
Because
yeah, okay, that might be
That won't
a
happen.
fair trade 1-to-1, but it doesn't happen.
he'd
So
be,
what
he'd
are
be
we
that
even
one
talking
player
about?
that we could afford to lose, like in theory, and actually get a decent return for.
I guess, yeah.
Sean,
'cause you're
I
not-
mean,
If
we
I'm
kept
Nashville, I'm
talking
not
last
trading
season
Yossi.
about how we would trade Eberle and we would get a defenseman to improve our offense, and
then
started
we
4-0
saw
without
that what
Eberle.
happened when we're missing Eberle, and now we're like, what the hell? So
yeah.
no, Sean, sorry, you interrupted you there a couple times.
Oh, if I'm Nashville, I'm not trading Yossi.
Yeah,
No.
that's the other side of it. Like
He's 25.
that's the big issue for me is that like finding a trading partner who's going to take Hall at a reasonable return for us, along with that top pairing defenseman, is going to be tough. Like it's almost impossible. Who could we realistically trade for? There's Bufflin, which I'm not even going to go near because he's not really a top pairing defenseman.
Shattenkirk?
I wouldn't even take Shattenkirk anymore. Yeah,
Petrangelo is an option just because he had a bad season last
No.
season.
that's a possibility too.
What about, well, I'm looking at
See,
players that are
what the Oilers
UFA
should
in
have done was they
2016.
should have
So.
went in on.
Keep going. Sorry,
Sean, go ahead.
Sean?
I think we've lost him.
Um,
Oh, no.
What's his name? German guy. German defense. Nope. The German defenseman. What's his
Ehrhoff.
name? Buffalo.
Yeah, Ehrhoff.
Ehrhoff,
Right now-
Christian Ehrhoff.
Thank you. Yes, Christian Ehrhoff. We should have picked him up when he was for like $2 million. We should have picked him up then. This past
Yeah.
offseason.
He got signed for
Counterpoint,
1.5.
though.
That's
would
what we
he
should have went and
want-
got. And we
Do
could
you
have picked
think-
him up for just money.
Okay.
The way I see it with Ehrhoff though,
He's
is
playing for $1 million right now.
yeah, but if he's taking that contract,
We
he's,
could've
he's
get-
taking a hometown discount.
I would have been fine paying him too, and been happy with it.
He's taking a hometown discount though. If obviously he wants.
In
to play
all
Buffalo.
honesty, though, for our free agency, what we thought was going to be our big player that can lead our defense and shoot as well was supposed to be Sekera.
Yeah, and he hasn't.
And that is, like, really bad
I think
considering
I think by
right
November,
now, like,
by
he was on
mid-November-
one of our bottom 2-3 list.
I think by November Sekera will be one of our better players. I think he will be.
Yeah, he
But
was.
right now he's just not looking like the player we need. especially for what 6 million. What is it? 6 million.
5.5.
5.5. Yeah,
5.5,
thank you.
yeah.
So I think we're just about out of time.
5.5.
But
Yeah, we're just running out of time, so we'll just quickly wrap up.
I
So
was gonna
today
say
we talked about.
predictions. Do you want to do predictions for tonight's game?
Oh no, please. Okay, I'll start. I think it's gonna be 5-1 Calgary.
Ooh,
James.
damn.
I will also go for a Calgary win. I will say
Ooh.
3-0 for Calgary.
Sean. Adam.
I'll go 3-1. 3-1.
3-2 overtime.
3-2 overtime for us or for them?
For them.
For them.
For them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of a delay between us and Sean, so that's what's causing the issue.
Yeah, just a little.
Then we
bit.
get a
It's just
point.
like-
Yeah, I'll take a point. I mean, oh god, please take a point.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah. No, D White. Sorry, I'm just gonna conclude with this. D White, we understand what you're saying, but also in practice, it's very hard for this to play out properly in terms of getting that good defenseman. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us for podcast number 8, and I will let Adam and James and Sean and myself free to do whatever we want along with yourselves for the rest of the day.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, people.
And
See
thank you
later.
guys for letting me join.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks for joining us,
Fantastic.
Sean.
Yeah. Bye bye.